Hey, how's it going? So welcome to lesson 1 of my free vocal course. And in this video, we're not going to be really doing many practical exercises or anything like that together. That will come in the following days. But in this video, I'm going to break down why, vocal freedom is the number one thing you should be striving for, and that consistency, endurance, better vocal tone, and better vocal range is what you get when you go for a better functioning voice and a more free voice. Okay, I'm going to prove that to you today just with the evidence that I have of me developing my own voice. I'm going to play you some clips right now of me singing over the past 3 or 4 years and me singing literally this month. So you're going to see how much progress I've made following the steps that I'm sharing in this course and in my teaching style and all that kind of stuff. And I'd just like to say that this is also work with my students and not just myself. So, you're getting a good variety of testing from me. So now I'll just play the first clip for you. And this song's called Millennia by Crown the Empire. And I did an acoustic cover back in January of 2016. So it's quite old, but check this out. I'll do a commentary about how I was singing after I play it for you.
I've been gone in this world for what seems like millennia, looking for nothing short of a miracle. I only ever wanted to come home, so won't you let me go? When I have nowhere left I can run away, will you lie to me, tell me I'll be okay? Close my eyes and lay me in my tomb, pull the trigger and send me home.
Alright, cool. So what I was doing back then in January 2016 was I was really pushing my voice in such a way that the high range would open up a little bit, but I was singing with a lot of power and whininess in order to get there. And what happened was I did hit a higher vocal range, but I literally got stuck. Does that make sense? So I couldn't get much higher than what I was singing right there. Now, this also led me to not being able to be very consistent with it, because if you ask me to sing it live, or if you ask me to say, do a one-take recording, something like that, I just couldn't do it. The only way I could do that was by recording it and I guess, doing a lot of takes. Because, again, my consistency wasn't there, and my endurance wasn't there either because I couldn't keep it up for a, whole 3.5 minute song. So that just shows you right there that that method doesn't really work, because if you just focus on that higher range part, you're throwing all the other areas out, which basically allow you to sing. What I should have done was maybe taken it down a couple of keys at the time, gotten it to be very free in the voice, allowed myself to find a vocal tone that I still really liked, that was very consistent and I was able to do for 3.5 minutes. And then what I didn't know back then, my range would start to open up from there because of how good the voice felt. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next track now, and that's going to be Circles by Pierce the Veil. And I covered this back in December 2016.
Hesitated, took my hand and now we both started running, there's no place to go. Another bullet and we both started running too. Save yourself, don't ever look back. Nowhere to go, instead we both spin around in circles. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Alright, cool. So do you notice how whiny that was? What I noticed at this point was that the whinier I got, the higher I was able to get in my range to a certain point. Okay? So I was basically ignoring the freedom in my voice and just trying to go whinier and whinier and whinier because I was so obsessed with getting that high range. So, to be honest, it just wasn't a good approach. I would say that there isn't many songs you could sing like this other than, this band's sort of songs, because the singer Vic Fuentes has a very high-pitched whiny sort of sound. But honestly, I wasn't very consistent with it. It was hard to do, I would say. It probably didn't feel the best, if I can recall, because it's so whiny and caught in the throat. And yeah, I just wouldn't recommend doing anything like that. So if you, as a singer, are obsessed with just trying to improve your vocal tone or just trying to get a higher range, just know that what you should probably do, and what I'm recommending you to do, is to step back and look at each part of the voice, the consistency and endurance part, the vocal range part, and the improving tone part as one cohesive sort of thing, and that's to develop your voice in a way that functions correctly. You'll hear how good it sounds in, the latest recording that I've done, where my voice is really working with all these three things aligned, okay?
She has me like your Pisces when I am weak. I've been locked inside your heart-shaped box for weeks. I've been drawn into your magnetar pit trap. I wish I could eat your cancer when you turn black. Hey, wait, I got a new complaint. Forever in debt to your priceless advice. Hey, wait, I got a new complaint. Forever in debt to your priceless advice. Hey, wait, I got a new complaint. Forever in debt to your priceless advice. Your advice.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. That's Heart Shaped Box by Nirvana, if you don't know that song. And what I just want to talk about here is basically, I had to focus on singing in such a way that I was able to sing each line consistently, note that word, and be able to build up my vocal strength to the point where, I didn't need to record line by line, or I didn't need to not be able to sing it live. I had to be able to sing each line live to be able to sing like this, because if you're singing with a lot of tension in the throat, basically you just get stuck. And whatever vocal tone you're obsessed with, it doesn't really matter, because if you can't consistently repeat that on each line, you'll never be able to really sing live, right? Or in the way that you want to. You might be able to sing live, but it won't sound very good. The last thing that I want to tell you is that you really cannot imitate somebody else's sound. So the whole course is basically revolving around this, because this whole course is about getting the voice to be more free. You can't imitate a certain singer that you like in terms of, their entire tone or the way that they sing very high. If you do that, you will find that your voice gets very stuck. You'll find that it doesn't necessarily work in the right way. And you'll also find that you probably won't be able to be very consistent with it. If you want, for example, a very high range, you can do that. Just don't expect yourself to sound like the singer that you're trying to emulate, because, the makeup of your body isn't like that singer. The places that your voice resonates won't be in the exact same spots. So let me just say this. It doesn't mean you can't develop an amazing sounding voice, and it doesn't mean that you can't get a really high range. All I'm saying is you can't expect to have that exact same sound as that singer, okay? Does that make sense? Now, if you did go ahead and copy them, you would lose consistency. You might even gain in one area. You might be a very good imitator of tone, for example, but your range might suffer so much because the way you're achieving that tone is completely limiting your range. If you were, say, obsessed with range like I was, you might have no idea what your tone could sound like, and you might just be chasing range, and your tone might really, really suffer when you could actually develop a really nice, unique sounding, great tone. And at the end of the day, really, it's all about connecting with how your own voice sounds and really getting the voice to function in such a way that, you feel that it's correct. So you kind of have to experience what I just said, but when you sing in a very good place that feels like it's very consistent and, you have an unlocked range, it feels like you can really sing up high into the range, and you've also sing with a tone that, you can kind of sense is functioning correctly, you will know, and you should be able to feel like, okay, that's my voice. And if you can experience that, which is kind of the idea of this course, you'll be heading in definitely the right direction, because even if your range isn't built from there, or even if you don't have the perfect tone, at least if you've got that great feeling, you'll know that that's the right direction you should be moving in. All right, cool. So with that, let's wrap up lesson 1 and let's move on to the other lessons. Thank you.
Why should I even care?